Hi, I'm Jonathan Parker. I'll be teaching Modern Western Civilization for you this semester. Why am I making this video? There are always one or two or five students who are late registrants or are sick the first day, and this is just a convenient thing to point them to so I don't have to give this talk 1,000,001 times because I find it as riveting as you all do. So this is 16 weeks together. Most everything you need, really everything, I don't think even most everything is going to be found right under here. And obviously I'll publish these modules as we go through them. All right, so what do you need to know? Modules on the left-hand side of your screen, we just touched on that. Be sure to always check announcements as well. I'm more prone to emailing, but there'll be times where I'll email, there'll be times where I do announcements, there'll be times when I do both. My office hours will all be held in person on the East Peoria campus in my office, room 216C. You can email me. I'm more than willing to help you out if you need it. There's my email address, jonathan.parker@icc.edu, and we can set something up over Zoom or Teams or whatever you want if we can find a mutually agreeable time to do so. If you have questions, comments, concerns, reach out. I can't read your mind. I don't know if you're having difficulty unless you tell me. I've been at this a little while now, but I have not developed psychic abilities quite yet. So let's get to the syllabus. As I said, here's my email. All right, students have, for some reason, found it difficult to spell my name. Jonathan. That's Jonathan. That was the normal way to spell it when I was born back in 1815. All right, you should be in History 118, Modern Western Civilization, Monday, Wednesday, 10:30 to 11:45. So there are my office hours. It's 1 hour each day after my last class. So my last class on Monday and Wednesday is you guys. I'll be there 11:45 to 12:45, and Tuesday I have two classes, 1:15 to 2:15. Again, I will bend over backwards to try to help you, but if this is the time you need to come, right here. These are the times that you need to come to avoid a schedule clash. I am there. I am sitting in my office. I am waiting and eager to help. But again, if you don't show up, if you don't communicate, and then I read on my evaluation how I was never available, that's that's what it is. I am available by email. Otherwise, I will try to get back to you within one business day. So Saturday, Sunday are not business days. So if you send an email on Monday, it should be answered by Tuesday at the latest. If you send an email on Friday, you'll get a response the following Monday at the latest. Okay. I have an online American government course. I'm usually online at some point on the weekend, but I just don't want you to count on it. All right, I won't read the course description or any of this to you. The text, we do use the text. I wouldn't say heavily, not lightly either. It's just somewhere in the middle. You're going to need the textbook. Course policies, we also, we just went over that. But here's just a side note. If you address an email to me, it should be addressed to Mr. Parker. Over the last few semesters, I've gotten Jonathan, hey pal, one student. I have no clue why. Dear Jonathan Parker at icc.edu. The proper salutation is never, is Mr. Parker. Use of my first name is just something I find disrespectful. You shouldn't refer to me by my first name. Since we are an in-person brick-and-mortar class, I'm just an old-school teacher. Unless otherwise specified, I will not accept any electronic forms of submission for classwork. Okay, everything you hand in is going to be printed and brought to class. And most everything that I give to you guys, with the exception of the slides, which you, I think, saw on Canvas a moment ago, it's going to be paper. It's going to be an old school type of class. All right, if you're sick, let me know, and bring whatever it is to the next class that you're able to. I'm not, there should not be an instance where you're emailing me an assignment. That was, before, while we still had Blackboard and while we were all figuring it out, that was how I was operating for a little bit during COVID, and I lost so many things. I don't think students sent me half the things they claimed to have, but it doesn't matter. Please do not email me an assignment. Just bring it in and hand it to me. All right. Academic citation etiquette. Whenever you turn in a written assignment, you're required to cite your source. If A, you use a direct quote from a book, article, website, etc., or B, you paraphrase a chunk of text from the book, article, website, etc., or C, you present a theory, argument, opinion that does not belong to you. It's okay not to know everything. It's not okay to claim credit for other people's work. All right. I was trained and got my master's degree in political science. All right. I went back to school and last December got a graduate certificate, which is 18 graduate credit hours in history, which is what the Higher Learning Commission requires, which is why I'm talking to you now about what is going to go on in my history class. So, did I have original ideas when I started that certificate program? No. Do I now? Well, it depends on who you talk to. You need to have correct citations to let me know you're borrowing from existing sources to develop your own answer. And that's fine. I don't expect on day one to walk into a room full of trained historians. I do not expect assignments to be doctoral dissertations. We're learning together, okay? Bibliography. At the end of your written assignments, you are required to provide a list of sources that you've utilized for the assignment. We will use MLA 9 format for bibliographies and inline citations. I get generally more positive reactions when I say MLA format. So I hope you like MLA. You use the template. I've even taken the thinking out of it for you. I think you have to look. Maybe not. No, maybe they took the ad function off of it. You had to watch an ad for a while to get a citation, but the site still works, and I know there are 1,000,001 citation generators. It's just one that I throw in case you don't know where to find one or haven't used one. Inline citations are also expected in any writing assignments that you turn in where you've used outside sources. So just general guideline. If you have any doubts whatsoever about whether something needs to be cited, just cite it. All right, don't take chances with your grade. I'm very particular about this. Academic citation etiquette, bibliographies, it's important. You need to produce original. Not original. If your work needs to show, you need to show where you got your answers from. All right. I've never taken off points because somebody's oversighted a source. I just circle and say, yeah, you didn't need to cite that, and for the next time. Wikipedia is not an academic resource, and I know some colleagues disagree, but Wikipedia it's just not an academic resource. Don't cite Wikipedia. Please do not cite Wikipedia. It will negatively impact your grade. How badly? Well, use Wikipedia and find out. Academic misconduct, plagiarism. I'm not going to read the handbook verbatim to you, but I will say what I have highlighted down here, that other types of plagiarism include copying or obtaining information from another student, contracting for original work with a third party, and generating or revising assignments with the aid of artificial intelligence tools that were not expressly authorized by the instructor. Okay, all AI tells me is how well you can put a prompt into a computer. That's all I glean from the use of artificial intelligence. Don't do it. A lot of people have done it anyway. I'm sure one or two got away with it, but I catch most of them. The work sounds a lot different than if a person wrote it. So do not use AI. And just to spell this out plainly, the use of AI is strictly prohibited under all circumstances in this course. I am never, ever, ever going to okay the use of artificial intelligence. Academic misconduct and plagiarism have been an issue every semester I've taught here. The first time I catch you plagiarizing, this includes the use of AI, I will give you a 0. And you're not going to have an opportunity to redo it. If it's a 1-point assignment or a 150-point assignment, you're not going to have an opportunity to redo it. And the second time I catch you plagiarizing, I'm going to fail you for the course. No ifs, ands, or buts. I've only ever had to get to this step, and then students find out I'm serious about it, and and the plagiarism usually stops. So, special needs and extra help. The college offers many forms of assistance and support, including help with writing and studying, special testing arrangements. Also, here's the link. You can find pretty much anything. Our school is very, very good at providing out of the classroom support for students. So take advantage of it if you need it. Late submissions, as a rule, I don't accept late work. If you're in your bedroom and you oversleep and you miss class, no, I'm not going to take the work. However, if God forbid there's a serious illness or a death or whatever, and you can prove that whatever you say happened did happen, then yeah, I'll take the work. It's the standard exception. I don't take late work unless I do. I'm not going to dock you for going to a funeral. I'm not going to punish you for, having the flu. I'm not going to do it. But please don't, and this is something I was told quite a bit last semester. A lot of people were lying about it. I'm easygoing and good-natured, I think. I've been told that anyway. Don't take advantage of it, please. Yeah, if you come to me with an excuse like, here's another one, I went to a Taylor Swift concert last night, or I had other homework to do, you won't be turning anything in. All right? These are 2 examples of things that actually happened. Standard 10-point grading scale. Grades are weighted as follows. A quarter of your grade are going to be exams. Exam 1 and Exam 2, we have 2 tests. A research project, the oral presentation and research paper, that's 35% classwork. And that is really just, last semester I called it the everything else grade. Homework and class assignments, pop quizzes. The pop quizzes are not really all that pop. I usually let you do them with a partner, or I send you home with them. There's an end of semester attendance grade as well, which we'll go over in a moment. Final exams, 20% of your grade. So there's a 100-point grade attached to you showing up to class to encourage attendance. There's a binder in front of the classroom with an attendance sheet. Everybody's name is going to be listed on that attendance sheet. It's your responsibility to sign in at the beginning of each class. Aside from keeping track, it's also for reporting purposes, because the college asks me twice a semester to mark those who never attended my class and those who have stopped attending my class. If you do not sign in for a class, you were not present. And just a word to the wise, this is shaping up to be a very busy semester for me. I think probably by the first day I'm going to have over 100 students, I think. I'm not going to know where student X was on day 2 of class. You've got to sign into the binder. You just have to. That's the only way I'm going to know that you were there, because I'm not going to remember come final exam time when I'm tabulating these attendance grades where you were, say, today when you're watching this video. The college handbook states that 5% of classes missed during a semester constitute an excessive number of absences for a class and may merit being dropped. And that's a week. That's 1 week of classes. That's a Monday and a Wednesday. This will be the guideline I will use when determining non and never attenders. I've had to drop students for excessive absences and would not like to have to repeat the practice. Just come to class. You'll learn something. You might find it interesting. Just come. Exams, I should say, exams may be cumulative, not necessarily will be. I discuss it, at least I did last semester, about the class even helped me make the test. So it shouldn't be terribly stressful. So exams may be cumulative, potentially including any topic throughout the course up to that point. I might throw in a question or two about the syllabus on test 1. Who knows? Questions may include true, false, multiple choice, matching applications, etc., etc., etc. If you have to miss, let me know as soon as possible. I give you the dates in just a minute, preferably before the exam. Otherwise, you must contact me immediately afterward by phone or email within 24 hours. If you fail to do so, you will not be eligible for a makeup exam. And this is why. It is not acceptable to wait until the next class meeting, because that is when we will probably be reviewing the exam results. I'll hold them, and I have held them for students who, plan ahead and work ahead and do the responsible thing and let me know that they need to take the test in the testing center. I hold the exams, but otherwise I grade those things fast and furious, and I get them back to you pretty much right away. So, yeah. If you're sitting in a class, if we go over the exam, and then you come up to me and say, I still need to take the exam, I don't know really what to do with that. So just please don't put me in that position. All right, just if you wake up sick the morning of, hey, that's fine. Just let me know so I can hold the exam until we can get you in the testing center and taking the test. It's so easy. But, just as human beings, including myself, we always find a way to complicate things, don't we? Writing standards. You can read that yourself. Just the general note. The more you make me act like an English teacher, and what I mean by that is there's a period here and there's a comma here, and you misspelled these 5 words, and I don't know what this sentence says because it's a big old run-on, the lower your grade is probably going to be. If I get distracted, and I do get distracted by the amount of spelling, grammar, etc., errors in a written piece of work that you turn in. It's going to lower your grade. Because if I have to spend twice as long on one student as I do on another because I don't know what that student's assignment even really says, and this has happened, then you're not going to get that good of a grade. Controversial issues in civility. For reading and writing assignments as well as discussion, be prepared to possibly confront historical events, concepts, and beliefs which you may find controversial, disturbing, and potentially offensive. This is not my aim, but I don't know, and I can't necessarily control how you take my lectures. My lectures are all history. They're all based in fact. I don't give opinions. I mean, unless somebody asks for them, and then I'm hesitant about it. Just be prepared. So describing, analyzing, and understanding such things does not mean we approve of them. In case of disagreement, maintain an attitude of civility and mutual respect. We all have a right to our own opinions, as well as mutual obligation to refrain from insults or hate speech, verbal or otherwise, that would impinge on others' rights to a safe, shared learning environment free of intimidation or harassment. Disagreements and debates are an essential part of higher education. The key is to challenge ideas intellectually rather than attacking people personally. And I've been attacked personally every which way to Sunday in my time as a teacher. So, I mean, just be civil, all right? Like, for example, we talk about the Protestant Reformation right off the bat. And we need to talk about why the Protestant Reformation happened. And it was in part due to the behavior of the priests at the time. And I had a student last semester get very upset because I don't even know, because it was within the drop date, so I don't know who it was, dropped the class. And let me see if I have it. Yeah, I do. Gave me a signed reading called The Protestant's Dilemma about why I was wrong. I don't know. So, history is not supposed to be comfortable all the time. You're not going to agree with everything that comes out of mine or classmates' mouths, I should say. As far as I know and am aware, I mean, the book isn't lying. The presentations I give are fact-based. There's nothing wrong in them. But I am a fallible human, just like everybody else. So if there is a fact that I've gotten wrong or something, I encourage you, point it out. But nothing I say or do about fact-based history that I'm getting out of your textbook should be construed as a personal attack on anybody. It's just not the case. History is not supposed to be comfortable. Political science is not supposed to be comfortable. And that's just that. So we're going to cover a whole lot of everything. I mean, the Protestant Reformation, the American French Revolutions, imperialism, Napoleon. I love the age of Napoleon. We'll have some fun with that. The World Wars, all sorts of things. How far we get is entirely up to you. Last semester, I mean, I spent a little too much time on this stuff at the beginning. I got a lot of questions a little later on. We ended up, I think, about 2D, I think, is where we ended the course. It was my first time through it, so I know how to go a little, I know what to do and what to cut and all that to go a little faster this time. But it depends really on the questions and how much interest there is in a topic. It depends on how into the weeds I go. I don't think that I go any further than necessary, but we did spend too long on the Protestant Reformation last semester. But yeah, so don't take things personally. History isn't supposed to be comfortable all the time. Nothing should be construed as coming out, as being a personal attack on anything. And I mean, we'll get as far as we get. So here is the oral presentation and research paper, the guidelines for that. They are linked assignments, so what you choose for your oral presentation should be what you write about for your research paper. So you can save yourself a lot of work. I mean, if you research, you can what I'm trying to say is you can carry over the research you did for your oral presentation to your research paper, and that's what you should do. So the first step is to select a topic from the list of options provided, and I'll give you a list. But if you want to do something off the list too, that's fine. You just okay it with me. Due by the end of week 2, which is Wednesday, August 29th. If you fail to choose a topic by the deadline, I will simply assign one for you. Then you start conducting research and putting together a bibliography. I've broken this assignment up into 2 parts. I'm requiring 10 sources total. So I'm just doing 5 and 5. All right, 5 by the end of week 5, another 5 by the end of week 7. And no, the 5 that you turn in on week 5 can't be the same as the 5 you turn in on week 7, because someone somewhere is thinking about doing that. I know it. So you need to have at least 5 sources total, 5 in part 1, 5 in part 2, including at least 1 of each. And I'm going to change this. Source, 1 of each source total. At least 1 scholarly book. At least 1 article from a periodical. At least 1 primary source. So these 3 things need to make an appearance in one of your bibliographies, if not both. Okay, I'm not really seeing how you're going to get away with only reading 1 book. This is I don't know how you're going to get away with that, but that's all I'm going to require. At least 1 scholarly book, at least 1 article from a periodical, at least 1 primary source in either of the bibliographies that you choose to turn in, Hopefully you're not choosing. And I'll clear this up in class as the date draws closer, if anybody's confused. The bibliography must be typed and printed with complete information in customary academic format as required for each source type, MLA 9. Late or inadequate submissions will reduce your score for the final draft by -1% per day. So an inadequate submission would be turned in 3 sources instead of 5 in one part of your bibliography. If you want to do all 10 in one too and just turn that in, that's fine as well. Presentations will be scheduled to begin by Monday, October 28th. No more than 2 students will present per class period. And that was a lesson learned from last semester. We're only doing 2. These are the basic criteria. Same topic as the research paper. Okay. Accuracy and relevance of factual information. Are you up there? Are you saying, for example, Russia is still ruled by the Tsars. The Romanovs have now been in power for 1,000 years. Anastasia wasn't killed and is her granddaughter's living in Kansas. You're not just spouting nonsense. You're giving accurate, timely, relevant information that's logically presented. There's a bit of analysis. There's a bit of interpretation. You use a slideshow or other appropriate visual aid. One student last semester came in dressed up in a period costume. That's fine too. Appropriate use of notes and effective appropriate speaking style, so you don't get up there, put your head down, cover your face, mumble, 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 nobody can hear you. You should go for 8 to 10 minutes, and then you'll take questions. And if nobody has questions, I will ask questions. And then you submit the first draft of your research paper due within 1 week after your oral presentation. And here's the basic criteria for the research paper. All right. You're going to submit it to Canvas and have a hard copy. All right. You're submitting it to Canvas once so I can have the program check for plagiarism and AI use. You're turning in a hard copy. Well, just because you're turning in a hard copy too. All right. So you need a formal writing style with correct spelling and grammar. Again, the more you make me act like an English teacher with my red pen, the lower the grade's going to be. Bibliography, inline citations, title page, abstract. I will get you a sample essay. You logically organize the paragraphs. There's appropriate balance of factual information, analysis, and interpretation. So what I mean is you're not just presenting facts. You're not telling me that Queen Elizabeth II came to the British throne in 1952. She reigned for a little over 70 years. That's the bare bones, a recitation of fact. What did Queen Elizabeth do during her time as queen? What do you make of that? How could, this was widely reported at the time, her wearing a hat that looked very much like the flag of the European Union, what do you think that meant? How do you analyze that? How do you interpret that event? And she wore it to the state opening of Parliament. So 8 to 10 pages, typed lines, double-spaced, 1-inch margins. I'm going to stop reading after 10 pages. So customary academic manuscript, electronic, yeah. So if you turn in here, this has just always been my rule. If you turn in a paper without a bibliography, you're automatically going to get a C. You could have written a best-selling book. I mean, you're still going to get a C if there's no bibliography. If you turn in a paper with no inline citation, same deal. If you turn in a paper without both, F. It doesn't matter if I'm looking at the Magna Carta. You need to cite your sources. And this hopefully is an incentive to do the right thing and cite your sources. I'll give you comments. You're going to get a chance to do a final draft of your essay. The deadline to submit your final revised draft is the last regular class meeting, Wednesday, December 4th. Now, I will warn you that the later you sign up for to give a presentation, I mean, the shorter amount of time I'm going to have to grade these essays. I had students, it came to December 4th, say, and they're like, when am I going to get it back to do a rough draft? And I'm like, that was it, to do a final draft. That was it. So if you sign up for a later presentation date, you're going to want to work ahead and get your essay to me sooner, so you have time to do a final draft. All right. Here, I won't read these to you. So just keep an open line of communication with me. You will be just fine. You will learn something from my class. You might even enjoy yourself. Stranger things have happened. And here is the course calendar. This is really fluid, except for what I have highlighted here about the bibliography, the topic selection. It's really just fluid. A tentative date for exam 1 is October 2nd. If we've, say we hit the Atlantic system by August 30th, we're not going to do that. Then there will be, the test 1 will probably be sooner. It's just fluid. I want you to concentrate on learning something, on maybe, enjoying yourself a little. I don't want you to be so worried about your grade. And I know that's an easy thing to say. I have my bachelor's and my master's and a graduate certificate. That's an easy thing for me to say, and don't be worried about the grade. But I sincerely believe, and it's been the case for me and many students who've told me, that if you absorb yourself in the class, I mean, if you just read the syllabus, you do what is expected. If you absorb yourself in the class and take the information in and try to, do your best to understand it, interpret it, analyze it, the grade is going to take care of itself. I'm not a hard person to get along with. I don't consider myself an especially hard professor when it comes to grading. Just do the work. Just do the work, and the grade is going to take care of itself if you're doing the right thing, which is, turning your topic selection in on August 29th and all that. So I have the dates for you here. The first day of classes, Labor Day, Election Day, Thanksgiving break, the final exam period. I'm not sure at the moment when the final exam is for this class. You will find out before December 9th. I know that fall semester ends the 13th of December, and that's all she wrote. Guys, I expect this to be a fun semester. This was a fun class last time when I did it. I think students got a lot out of it. I think you'll have fun. Just remember, the bottom line is just communicate with me, and I'll do my best to communicate with you, and that's half the battle right there. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, email me. Make sure you spell my name right. And if not, I will see you